All right, hello again. This is Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming, and I guess, for lack of better words, I hate to say it this way, but I will. I lied to you before, and what I'm going to do is I've already written underneath my views employee directory. I wrote a create, a delete, and an edit. I'm going to go over those with you right now, and I'm going to add comments. I wish that when I had done the other files, all of the ones I'd written, I had created comments along the way rather than just speaking them to you. All right, but I'm going to start with the first one, which is Create.cshtml. All right, so this is going to be a form to add a new employee to the database. So let's put that at the top. Remember, we have to create comments like this. All right, and like I said, I think it would be better off to kind of do it like this. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do in here, we do this model. This again is setting up our namespace. All right. So what we want to do here, I'm so tempted to go like this and then put in comments. And it looks like it'll take that because at least in here, I'm inside of some C# code. All right, so let's try it right now. Let's see. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, set the heading for adding a new employee. That's what it is. So it's going to take that title that we set up a long time ago in one of these. I don't know which one it was. Not in there. Not in there. Like I said, I don't remember where it was even, but it was somewhere. Could have even been all right. Oh, where are you? Come on. All right. But all of these have got the title. So someplace in here we set up the title. I'll try to remember where that was and show it to you, I guess, at another time. Okay? But what that's going to do is it's going to basically set that up. Whoops. And it's going to be able to add to it, add employee. All right. This is just a heading, so I don't think it's really worth talking about that. All right. Okay, so let's talk about what we have to do here. We're going to add in here several things, and I want to mention what those things are. So I'm going to put a comment in here. The first one is we're going to use an ASP-4 statement. All right, this is a tag helper, and it'll bind an input, in this case, to a view model property. If you say, I don't understand, well, just keep watching if you would, please. All right, there is some bootstrap in here. Again, we're using a card class. We're setting some of that kind of stuff up. So what else is going to be in here? Well, amongst other things, we're going to have an ASP-validation. And what's that going to do? It's another tag helper that'll render client-side validation. All right, error handling. All right. Next, we're going to be using this all over the place, and that is an @HTML HTML dot anti-forgery token. And that will insert a hidden CSRF, which is basically a for cross-site scripting. All right. On the post action to verify it. What you don't want is somebody to eventually, when we put this out on the internet, to break into your program and be able to add, edit, or delete things that are in there. All right. Finally, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add this thing called show fields. It's all in here. And that is JavaScript to hide or show the correct set of pay fields based on the employee type selected in the drop-down list. And again, if you don't get that, this is what we're doing in here. So there is the anti-forgery. Let's do this. Let's just type in this. And let's use, I guess, a little bit of AI in here. So what does a do? All right. And it says it's a security helper used to protect your web application against cross-site request forgery, CSRF attacks. It's going to ensure that the form being submitted actually originated from your website, not forged or done by somebody with malicious intent. So there's that. Now, what do we have in here next? All right. I mean, there's reasons the max width in here is 50 or 520 pixels, so we want it to look halfway decent. How's that? All right. Now we've got a div in here, and this is going to be a label. All right, employee type. And take a look. This is going to be, for lack of better words, a drop down that's going to have in it select type, and then when you click on it, it'll have hourly, piece worker, commission, and salaried. Now you can say in here, why didn't you put why do you put a space there? This is just what it looks like. This is what's going to be set. All right, and it's telling us too, whenever we do this, whenever we change, let's say from an hourly to a piece worker, call show fields. All right. All right. Hopefully that made at least some sense. Now here's your common fields. So notice now if I type in, it's not in C# code. So now I do have to put in these. So these are our common fields, i.e. first name and last name. So that's what we're doing here and here. All right. Now here, these are going to be our employee type, specific fields. What we want to do here is if you come in here and you choose hourly, we want it to show first name, last name, hours worked, and hourly rate. If you choose piece worker, we want it to be first name, last name, pieces made, and price per piece. If you choose commission worker, we want it to be first name, last name, sales amount, and commission percentage. And if you choose salaried, we just want it to be first name, last name, and salary. All right, so this is setting up so the fields shown will correspond to the employee type selected in the drop-down. Whoops. Okay. Finally, when we get down to the bottom here, notice we've got a submit button and a cancel button. So these are just our buttons. This is a submit, all right, to save. This is the cancel, which is going to get us back to our index page. All right, get rid of that blank line here. This is our show fields. All right, and I like to pretty it up because I have a way that I code. Somehow times when I set this, it gets reset by the system. So what are we doing here? We're basically coming in and telling it, as it says, hide every type specific panel before showing the correct one. Read which employee type the user has selected. Locate the matching panel and show it if it exists. And then, as it says, run this thing on page load to restore the panel after returning a validation error. So in other words, what's going to happen in this thing is we come in here, we want to add a new employee. It's going to show us a drop-down list. That drop-down list will have the 4 employee types. Once we choose one of those employee types, what you're going to have originally is just going to be the first name and the drop-down, the first name and the last name. Once you choose one of those employee types, the other 2 or 1 field will be added. Again, if we choose hourly worker, what will be added is hours worked and hourly rate. If we choose piece worker, what will be shown will be pieces made and price per piece. If we show the commission worker, it'll be sales amount and commission percentage. And if we show salaried worker, it'll be the salary that gets added. All right, so that's it. And I don't think, grab this comment here, copy it, and then just make some changes to it. That's it. Hopefully I put enough comments in there that it makes at least a little bit of sense. All right, and there's no error showing, which is always a good thing. So next we'll look at edit. Let's see where we are for time. All right, we're at 13 minutes, and even though these are going to be shorter, I think I'm going to stop right here, so it'll be stopping around 14 minutes. And so in this one, I'm just going to go over, as you can tell, the create. So this next one will be the form to edit an existing employee in the database. And I think we just said here to set the title, something like that, right? So we will come in here and we will, whoopsie, set the heading for editing an existing employee. So I'm going to pick it up there on the next one. All right. Heck with it. Let's just go through all of them now. So this particular video might end up being longer than planned. All right. So did we put a comment here for the forgery? I think we did previously. I'm going to copy this whole thing. I don't know if we're going to be using all of it or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. So remember, this is setting it up so that we're able to come in and edit an existing employee. This is going to look very similar to the create. The difference is we've already selected an employee type. All right. So we're editing something that's already happened, so to speak. So there's the HTML forgery. There's the big difference. So in here, we need to specify an ID here as this is an existing employee. If we did not do this, how could we tell which employee we were editing? So again, just like before, we've got our first name and our last name. Okay. Again, I think we did that before, didn't we? So those were our common fields. We could put it up here like we did before. I'm just going to put it right there. Now notice we've got code in here. If the employee type is hourly, remember this is an existing employee. We don't need a drop-down list so we can decide which type. All right, so here what we're going to do is we are going to programmatically react based on the current type of employee chosen. So again, if it's hours worked, all right, it's hours worked an hourly rate. If it's piece worker, it's pieces made in price per piece. If it's commission worker, it's sales amount and commission percentage. And if it's salaried worker, it's just the salary. Again, we've got our buttons like we did before. So I realize I'm putting a lot of stuff in here that looks similar, and that's okay. Oops. There's our buttons. Same way, except before it said save, and now it's saying update. All right, so those are the first two, and let's take a look quickly at the last one. Again, I'm going to save some time here and do some copy and pasting. So for delete, which is the shortest of the three, as you'd probably guess, this will create the form to delete an existing employee from the database. So just like before, we're coming in here and we're going to set the heading for deleting. Oops. An existing employee. All right. Now notice what we're doing in here. We've got an alert in here. This is about all you can do before you delete something. You can say, are you sure? So if my name is in there and I'm an hourly employee, it'll say, are you sure you want to delete Jeff Scott? this cannot be undone. And if you want to do it, indeed, then it will be deleted. All right. We've got, again, the anti-forgery token. We'll just grab just that part of it. Don't know why I keep doing that, but I keep doing that. And we're not using all this stuff, so I'm going to get rid of some of it here. There. The only thing we want, again, is this anti-forgery token here. And, again, we set up our buttons. And again, notice, yes, delete. All right, so that is the code for the 3. Now, I do want to go back and add comments. I don't think I will in the models because we haven't changed anything from what was in here before. Remember, our commission, employee, our etc., all these. So I don't think I have to go back and comment those out. But it probably would be a good idea for me to go in and add comments in the controllers. We didn't put anything ourselves into www.root really, but go add into the employee controller and the home controller, in the data to the payroll DB context. The models, again, I don't think I'll have to touch. The service would make sense. The view models, I think I'd have to add quite a few comments in there. And in these views, I just added these. All right. But I do think I can. So in here in the employee, we just added those. All right. So I think I'll go back and do that. But before we do, let's give this thing a spin. Try to create the database and see if it works. All right, this is our payroll.net. So I think we've already installed these, but I'm going to do it again anyway. What is it? Probably have it in here someplace. Yeah. Install package. We'll start with Entity Framework Core, version 8.0.22. It's wrong. It's 0.22. All right, and it's telling us, rolling back. Detected downgrade. Okay, it's expecting 9 because I put 8.022, I think. But we'll check. We'll fix that anyway. Let's just put 9.0.0. See if that works. All right, took that. Let's do it again, and we'll add SQL UL server. It doesn't like that. Amplified package. All right, well, let's try the old one then and see if it takes that. 8.0.22. Doesn't like that either. Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you where the error is. Okay, I'll show you where the error is. And that is if I come in here and we go into our program, there is a project file in here. And see, this is it. It's got it as 822.0 for all of these. And that's the way it should be. So I'm not sure why this isn't working. Good gravy. Let's clear this. somewhere else it's got to be in there. I don't know, maybe it's in app settings.json. Nope. Well, so we put in this install package and it didn't like this. Let's see if we can do this again. 8.0.22. If I get an error, I'm just going to stop now. I'm going to stop now. All right, I'll see if I can fix this. Go back and put it in, and then try to run it and see if we can get this thing to work. Because then all that's left is to go back and add those comments as I told you about. So I'll be back with that shortly.